Hello and welcome. My name is Zaffar Iqbal, and you are watching the Mojo story. Tension between India and Pakistan have escalated, despite that a ceasefire understanding uh, is there at the line of control and the international border. But one of the reasons for this escalation of tension is the drone activity that's been witnessed over the last few days. Pakistan launching drone attacks in different cities of India, including Jammu, Samba, parts of Punjab like Amritsar and Hoshiarpur. Indian defense systems have intercepted and neutralized those drones, but there have been blackouts that were reported. Even it has impacted the flight traffic. Some of the flights have to be diverted, and some have to be cancelled. What all is happening? Because this is something new for India and for the people here. To get a better sense of the situation, we're joined by Squadron Leader Varsha Kukreti. Welcome to Mojo Story, Varsha. What we're seeing, this drone activity, frequently these drones in Indian skies. Uh, can you give us a sense that what is the protocol once a hostile drone is detected? Because this is something new for the people also.
This was happening for a while now. It's not that it has happened only past 1 month. These were happening. There was this Jammu attack around a year or two back. So things were there. But Operation Sindoor onwards, this has really come into limelight. Now we also know, yes, drone, when it was happening in Ukraine, everybody was thinking, yes, yes, it is happening in Ukraine. I don't know when it will happen here. We never thought that anything like this, we will land up in a situation like this, wherein an operation like Operation Sindoor will take place and the two countries will be there opposite each other. Once
Right.
this situation came in, now a new frontier is opened, that is drones. Now both sides are trying to build up their drone. Drone is something which is not expensive. Drone is something which will not get you a diplomatic flag that why did you drop anything on the other side. Maybe you are on your own side, you are doing surveillance. And drone is very difficult to detect. Radars have difficulty in detecting them. Though we have been able to detect and destroy drones from which had come across the border, yet it's not an easy thing. Just because our BSF and army, they are being trained in how to detect them and destroy them. We are in a good position. However, drones are here to stay, and we all need to understand that it's not a toy we are talking about. It's not a the same toy can convert into a warhead. So that is the difference in the previous scenario and now post op Sindhu. Even when there is ceasefire, still there are sightings. So that is also happening.
Yes, absolutely. Uh, you rightly put it that there were drones that were used for smuggling, for sending arms at the international border. There's so many drones that have been shot down by the BSF in Punjab and Jammu frontier. But now it's sort of a different situation because we saw these drones in civilian areas. Those drones were coming to the border areas, but now these are even sighted in cities, urban areas like in Srinagar, like in Jammu. How should people respond when they see such drones flying around?
See, if the thing is, if there is no warhead, it's not a, if there is any bomb or anything which is any explosive which is attached to it, it's a very potent weapon which is inside your city and you are the target. So it is
Right.
better to take shelter that time because army and BSF will try to neutralize it. It is their responsibility. But as civilians, we should not go near that weapon. We should try to stay in a shelter because it may have splinters, it may have explosives. So it is better to take shelter and inform. The moment you sight something, you must inform the nearest, because of late army and BSF is everywhere. Information needs to reach them so that they can neutralize it. The
Right.
only way is to take shelter. That is my advice to civilians.
In this Operation Sindoor, when there were tension between India and Pakistan. Pakistan sent waves of drones. Now, one can't figure out whether it's an attack drone or it's a surveillance drone or it's a spy drone. Can you help us understand what's the difference between these drones?
Surveillance drone generally has a camera and it sees a surveillance and spy drone will be similar category. They are only having like we used to have a MiG-25 long time ago. It used to only go take photographs and come. It was a huge aircraft which was doing this task. Now we have such a small machine which is going across, taking photographs and coming back. So the enemy we know enemy positions, and the enemy is using the same way to understand our cities, our civilians, and our infrastructure. So these are generally doing like whatever their input is, they test the input, whether that input is correct or not, whether there is any escalation on any side. So these drones are being used for doing these surveillance. Drones will be used for doing the spying activity because they have only a camera. While once a drone is any ammunition is attached to the drone, any payload is attached, which is explosive in nature, then that drone can be used as a weapon and it will definitely create a lot of damage. So it's the weapon. If you attach a weapon to a drone, it becomes a potent striking, which adds on to their striking ability.
And notwithstanding whether it's a attack drone or a spy drone, the fact is that a drone activity causes disruption, particularly for the flights. They have to be diverted, or their direction has to be changed, and also people on the ground have to be given a set of instructions. Now that this is happening frequently, almost on a daily basis, even after the ceasefire between the two countries, how do you see that people should respond to such sightings of drones, and what should be the sort of a protocol that should be employed so that people understand that what to do and accordingly react?
See, first thing is sighting of drone is the very important thing. If you've sighted, we will be Army and BSF will be using their radars and all. They would have sighted the drone much earlier than you would sight it. However, maybe if it is missed, so if somebody has a visual contact with the drone, they should immediately inform the nearest rail police station and BSF or army, and because information goes very quickly, so immediately it can be brought down. So the idea is either to bring down the target, and if it has a warrant, then accordingly the army and BSF will have another way of bringing it down. And if there is a by chance if the drone comes down and it has a warrant attached, then do not go near it. Stay away from it just because of your excitement. People will just go near it and it may explode. It may have a system that it explodes after say 5 minutes. So when many people have gathered around it and then it explodes. Anytime you see any warrant, anything, you should just stay away from it, maintain distance, and then inform the authorities about it.
Right. That's a very important thing that should be kept in mind. But we've been hearing about this use of drones in warfare, particularly in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. How much of a challenge do you think it is for India in the current context, given the fact that we saw waves of drones coming from across the border almost on a daily basis in hundreds, and they're still uh, being cited after the ceasefire agreement has been reached by the two countries?
With whatever little knowledge I have, what I can tell you is even those drones were sighted, they were not so potent. There were hardly few with weapons in them. So they were just like a wave of drones which had not much of a potency to destroy anything, just to jittering, maybe to jitter people. There are sightings of they are sending cheap Chinese drones also in order to create that sensationalization that yes, because they are not no match to us in conventional warfare. Like when it comes to the army and the air force, they have no match. Their army, air force, navy are no match to us. So they are resorting to this new tactics of drones, and they are being helped by a few nations. So with that, these being cheap drones, there are so many cheap commercial Chinese drones which are also being used only to create a sensation. While they do have the traditional weaponized drones also, but their quantities, I don't think it is very high at the moment.
Right. And we heard about the Turkish drones that were used, and also there are Chinese drones. It's an entirely different sphere now, altogether a different sphere. On the border, there is a fence. There is a multi-tier grid to block infiltration. There are surveillance equipments. But what to do to a drone? It just bypasses all of this and flies into deep into the hinterland.
That will be brought down because most of the drones, which have been brought down, which have come inside. So need not worry about that at the moment. And we have our own set of drones. We have the Tapas, we have the Heron. They have equal and better quality. And only thing which we need to do is now both countries should now, if, when there is ceasefire, we should also talk about the drone protocol
Right.
because it is also a kind of a weapon and very potent and very easy to maneuver. So that should also be brought in now. And it's not only Army, Navy, Air Force, it is the drone force also, which should be countered and which should be brought into the talks also because they can carry very a large amount of weapons and create a lot of destruction when it comes to proper planning and I'm sure our Indian Army will also is also reaching that limit soon.
Right. And I think that's a very important thing that you said that when we talk about ceasefire, we talk that not a single bullet should be fired. But it's not about bullets. There are so many things that have come up now, like these drones. But don't you think there is an element of deniability? Once these drones are launched, then it just
Exactly, exactly,
yeah,
exactly. That's what I was coming to, sir. Deniability. That's why people are using drones because nobody can, say where it was fired from. But yes, there is another branch of which comes in to place, which can, trace where the weapon has come. Like few months back, one of our drones was had been confiscated. So why we were trying to get it back was because then you can easily see how it is made and what is there inside the drone, where it has flown from and what all sectors it has flown, and previous data is not deleted. So we get a lot of knowledge the moment you get one drone. You can see and find out about the adversary's capability and his action plan, what they are planning. That can also, the moment a drone is in your hand, you know a lot. So that is also there. And deniability, no doubt. They can also throw so many drones inside and say, we didn't do it. That's very true.
right. And it's an important thing that has to be taken into consideration. Uh, but lastly, you are a drone pilot. Do you think that it is something that has to be given more focus now because uh, it is not very conventional way of engagement. It's a very unconventional way of engagement, but it can be very disruptive also, and it can engage so many people and infrastructure just to spot these drones, just to shoot them down, and that really takes the attention from the main thing.
It is not conventional, it is not many things, but it is the way to go because we will be saving so much of funds, and with little funds also, we can create a lot of destruction. And this is the way to go.
Right. So this is the way to go, and perhaps these are the new things that are now coming to fore. As we said, that we already heard it in Ukraine, in Russia, but now it's very much in our own setup. Also, all these things happening. Thanks so much, Squadron Leader Varsha Kukreti, for joining us and for sharing your thoughts. Thanks for watching the Mojo story.